a mouse. It's normal that objects cast shadows bigger than themselves the farther the shadow is from the object that's projecting the shadow. Here's an illustration of how that works. You have a light source, you have an object, in this case a sphere, and then you have a surface on which the shadow is cast.
New Life Entertainment. Jordan.
There's no wall that cannot be broken down. Broken down, broken down. There's not no wall that's big enough. There's not no wall that's big enough. Strong enough that it can't be knocked down, knocked down, knocked down. So when you go mountain, I can't be no mountain, no mountain, no mountain, mountain climbing.
Breaking the barriers of sand, and when you broke them, and you woke up in the morning and you was choking, trying to catch your breath but you couldn't because you sleep, looking at the demons and mess, and then you weak, weaker and you stronger you on your knees, about to throw up holding the food in before you sneeze. They saying where you at, you ain't going, you wanna be somewhere you can't be. You got to imagine that you just found a peace of mind. Imagine that you found, a piece of grind, and then you turned that grind into something and it made a new record. And then they were saying what you was doing, you was just like the shepherd. The boys and my shepherds, they saying, well shit, this is a message. I'm thinking you ain't even better, and you ain't even better. Test it if you can. If I wanna see if you can uphold. And that's how they found out there ain't no way that they could go with Joe. Go ahead and hit the moon, that's what I was thinking about. Shit, I wanna sit with you, then I wanna watch the sunrise. Niggas say you are your son died, I didn't even know cause I ain't had no kids, and that's a one lie. But the lies can turn to more, and that's why they be saying this nigga, he got his back against the wall. But actually shit, there is not a wall that cannot be broken down. That's the name of the song, and that's how it goes down. So as they go throw grenades, as they go ahead and throw everything over in our face, as we see the rockets going off, we know it's gonna be some chemicals. Everything is gonna happen to every individual, but they're not people if you look at the long term. So that's what I'm thinking about, joining a law firm. They saying Joseph, you got it, Joseph, it's gonna get the burn. I'm thinking coming back, cause this back, it can't be broken down.
Back from out of the sky, come right back on that mountain top. Come right down from there and then put your head on the chopping block. Yes, you started right back where you were when you were running back to jog, and now you're walking, standing in place, not doing a thing, not doing a thing, not doing a thing. Hoping for a change, now we can turn it around.
the model of shadows work. The farther away the shadow is projected away from the object, the bigger it gets. But they tell you, you take this, and somehow, miraculously, you get this. In my last video, I was only bringing it up in the last video. The whole point was that if an object casts a shadow the same size as itself or bigger, then how is something 2,000 miles across casting such a small shadow? Well, then I'm going, okay, well, then it should be true the other way around. Why is the lunar eclipse 100 times bigger when the Earth is only 4 times the size of the moon? You got to think about that and try to make sense of that in your own mind. A 2,000-mile moon makes a shadow right there. I don't know how far that is, but it's right over Mexico City, so it's maybe 100 miles across. And they show you both models side by side in this illustration to explain it conceptually, but the distances are not represented. If the moon was 4 inches, the Earth would be 16 inches, and the sun would be 50 yards across, 550 yards away. That's not captured in this illustration. And I think those numbers, I recalled that right. It was off the top of my head, but that's a shrunk down model. So think it over yourself. How does the moon cast a shadow so much smaller than itself, but the Earth casts a shadow bigger than itself and covers the entire moon generously? Well, kick that around too. Put that in the equation and see how that affects the way you look at things. But I know that when we cover something that big and the moon only covers something that small, something ain't quite right. Look at the real world. This is how light works. Does this show any light that would converge? Any light that would intersect? This is what you see in the real world. Look at the clouds. You can Google sun in the clouds and you'll find tons of images like these. But when they want you to believe a certain thing, they'll show you a photo like this and say, no, this is how it works. The light will go around the moon and it will converge on the Earth. And if the Earth wasn't there, it would actually intersect, which means light isn't straight, which means every scientific experiment that relied on straight light rays is invalid. But what you have to remember is that the people that are controlling the world, they control the media, they control academia, they control science, they control history, and they happen to all have a flat Earth logo on their agency. Well, you know, look. The flat Earth map is on all their logos. They'll give you pictures from space and tell you that they're true. They'll lie to your face and say, here's some real pictures. And if you just scrutinize them a little bit, look at them yourselves. Satellite pictures, the cloud cover is frequently just pasted, sloppily even. And they'll ignore every other proof and want to argue over trivial details about the math or about you don't have this figured out. They ignore the fact that you can't find a curve. They ignore the fact that what you see with your own eyes tells you different. And they ridicule anyone who thinks out of the box and doesn't go along with the crowd and accept what they're taught. I mean, why would they, on one hand, just lie to you and say, look, light converges from its source. It doesn't radiate out. It doesn't spread out. It doesn't go in a straight line. Oh, well, wait, we want you to understand something else, so now we're going to show you that the light rays are straight and parallel. Everything they discover supposedly is more fantastical. Now we don't even have a plane of orbit. Now all the planets are chasing the sun through the universe. It doesn't matter. They're insulting your intelligence. They released this the other day and showed you a Jupiter with strudel on the top and said, wow, look what we have. What it really is that they don't want you to feel like you're anything. There is no purpose and you need them to lead you. We came from monkeys. We have no purpose. We're in a universe that's going no place, came from nothing, going nowhere, and we came from nothing and we are nothing. We're property, and they want us to feel like it. The last thing they want us to think is we came from something important, that we have value. Each person has to reconcile in their own mind what they're going to believe, but do you really need to cling to the teachings of people that are known liars? They won't tell you the truth for the life of them. Listen to these people. The people that run the world are wicked. So would you expect that they would tell you the truth about science or about history? Do you think they're going to let their schools teach you something that contradicts things that mold your thinking the direction they want you to go? They won't. So think of the bigger picture. It's not about the shape of the planet or the earth or if it's flat or if it's round. It's about the value of life.
Shots at night.
And it's about
most serious floods in the last 20 years.
The streets of Mocoa, Colombia were consumed by a wall of water late Friday night. Heavy rain triggered the overflow of 3 rivers.
The deluge was well out of the norm. Mocoa received the equivalent of 40% of its average monthly rainfall in just one night.
Continuous heavy rainfall.
For the first time ever.
And it was just devastating. I had never seen nothing like this before.
Within hours of Pope Benedict announcing that he was to resign, take a look at this. Lightning struck St. Petersburg.
Touch the sky, how about you?